My obscenely wealthy, arrogant suburban client kicked a loose deck board directly toward my heavy work boots and coldly sneered, "You are nothing more than an uneducated, low-wage digger. Clean out whatever dead pest is causing that foul stench under my porch by noon, and do not you dare ask questions or track mud onto my patio, or I will ensure your contracting license is stripped." He delivered this deeply calculated, venomous ultimatum with a predatory smirk, perfectly playing the part of the untouchable neighborhood elite. Standing right beside him, in a flawless custom-tailored designer golf outfit, I wore my standard, faded canvas work apron and scuffed steel-toe boots, a stark, visual contrast symbolizing the massive, unbridgeable power gap between the man who owned the mansion and the handyman hired to clean up his mess. That moment set the tone for an agonizing, deeply humiliating campaign of psychological marginalization. Throughout the entire property maintenance job, my client and his sycophantic guests treated me like an invisible nuisance. Whenever he hurled a fresh insult or threatened to withhold my weekly wages for minor delays, his inner circle of wealthy neighbors never looked up from their smartphones, smirking into their cocktail glasses, while participating entirely in my public degradation. I was the designated pariah, forced to work in suffocating, cramped conditions, while they laughed just out of earshot. But the true cruelty wasn't just his verbal abuse, it was the sickening reality of what was actually causing the smell under the porch. As I crawled into the damp darkness to locate the source, I didn't find wild pests or natural decay. I found a collection of deliberate, commercial-grade neurotoxic chemical containers, laced meat baits, and the tragic remains of several beloved neighborhood family dogs. Whenever I paused my tools to process the sheer horror of the discovery, my client would aggressively march onto the deck above, toss a mocking gag gift notice of contract violation onto the dirt, and demand I double my pace. He was actively trying to force me to stay blind to his sadistic crimes, using his tyrannical authority to ensure I remained isolated, ignorant, and completely compliant with his corrupt cover-up. I did not argue with his insults, nor did I react to his humiliating threats. I simply swallowed my rage, gave him a cold, obedient nod, and buried myself deeper into the grueling, brutal technical labor of examining the contaminated soil. What my wealthy client completely failed to realize, what none of the suburban elites understood because they were entirely too blinded by their own unearned arrogance, was that I had not been a standard residential handyman for over a decade. Over the past 10 years of working brutal, bone-crushing shifts across the city, I had quietly built a hidden second life. I spent my nights studying municipal animal cruelty laws, forensic toxicology, and digital evidence recording compliance, quietly earning formal certifications that gave me the legal authority to investigate and prosecute severe animal abuse cases. While he was busy playing the part of an untouchable suburban king, I was secretly wearing a high-definition tactical body cam and audio recording rig during every single working hour, collecting undeniable digital evidence and building an airtight dossier on his systematic poisoning campaign. I was playing the part of the obedient silent worker while secretly positioning myself with the exact legal power needed to completely shatter his pristine world. The trap snapped violently shut the exact moment he walked back onto the porch to mock my progress, leaning over the lattice to demand if I was finished yet. Instead of backing down, I triggered the live streaming audio capture on my hidden console and casually baited him into talking. Laughing arrogantly, he openly bragged about how he deliberately laced meat with toxic chemicals to systematically slaughter the neighborhood dogs because their barking annoyed his afternoon naps, sneering that the police could never touch a man of his wealth. The horrifying, deeply incriminating reality instantly locked onto my encrypted audio recorder. My client's face completely drained of all color, going stark white as a sheet, the very second I stood up from the crawlspace, pulled my encrypted diagnostic tablet from my canvas bag, and played his gloating confession back on full speaker volume across the entire yard. Without a word, I tapped my screen and instantly transmitted the live audio file, high-resolution toxicological evidence, and my certified investigator credentials directly to the county police dispatcher and animal control emergency response. Before he could even catch his breath, the deafening wail of police sirens echoed down the street as a swarm of cruisers surged into the driveway, slapping heavy steel handcuffs onto his designer wrists. I didn't yell, I didn't gloat, and I didn't accept his frantic, pathetic offers of hush money as he was dragged away in absolute disgrace. I calmly packed up my specialized diagnostic gear, walked out the front gates into the quiet afternoon sun, and returned the next morning to my quiet life of wearing my apron and opening my workshop. Watching a monster lose his freedom over a recorded confession was the ultimate vindication. But I have to ask you, was I wrong for secretly recording him and baiting him into bragging about his crimes just to guarantee an airtight arrest? Or should I have called the police the second I found the first bait container? Drop your verdict in the comments.